Hello, investors. Welcome to the channel where we look for possible swing trades using technical analysis. Before I begin, all I ask is that you hit the like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And if you enjoy having ideas like this sent directly to you, please hit that bell notification to be alerted when new videos post. With that, let's get right into today's video. We're looking at Civitas Resources Incorporated. Ticker symbol CIVI. This is a small cap company with a market cap of $7 billion, and it owns fairly significant tracts of land in the Rocky Mountains of North America, and it uses that land to produce oil and natural gas. And here we are on Civitas' annual chart, and you'll see that it is actually above the 200-day moving average. It's in between the 20 and the 50 there. So it's kind of in the middle, though we had a couple of red days. The fact is it came down and bounced right off that 200-day. You'll notice it did this several times in the past, quite a few times. If you look back on the chart here, there are times when it drops below the 200, and those are excellent buying opportunities based on past history. But if we look down here, the RSI is kind of in the middle. Looks like it's falling a bit. And the stochastics are low, but certainly not in the oversold zone. And at least the fast stochastic is falling. As far as volume goes, the volume has been slightly above average lately, although the view is skewed based on these gigantic candlesticks that take place every once in a while. So it's difficult to really get a proper perspective on these things, but it does look like it is about double the average volume just over the last couple of weeks, even if we discount these excessively large candlesticks. Now, the one good indicator we have here is the MACD, which does look to be sharply rising. We don't have a bullish cross yet, but it does look like it's getting there. And if we switch over to fundamentals here, you'll see that there is very high institutional ownership here at almost 96%. The short interest is also high, just shy of 12%. So this does put us in a position where there could be a short squeeze if the share price were to continue to drop significantly. And the debt to equity ratio is average for the industry. We know that the oil and gas industry typically has significant debt. They are an equipment heavy industry. So the fact that these numbers are high is not unusual. And it's apparently just right where it should be compared to its peers. And the PE ratio is the same. PE ratio is under 6, and that is about average for the industry. So that's still low, certainly below the market average. Now, the gross margin and the operating margin are really where Civi stands out here. We have a gross margin of 92.63%. That is truly incredible. And that beats out 96% of other companies in the industry. Now, likewise, an operating margin, 41.57%. That is excellent, and that beats out 82% of others in the industry. And just to look at the net profit margin, 32.8%. That is similarly outstanding. And we move down to return on equity. That is average for the industry, as is the growth rate. So these are both just normal for the industry. Now, one thing I do want to look at here, and this is part of why I chose to look at CIVI, despite the fact that the technical indicators are not exactly perfect. But here we have a dividend yield, which is listed at 2.76% and a payout ratio of just over 65%. So this is a good dividend. It's certainly above market average. And the payout ratio of 65% is a little higher than I'd like to see, a bit higher, especially given it's 2.76%. That's not terrible, but it's not something that's going to make true dividend investors jump onto this company. Well, what I want to take a look at here is if we switch over to Yahoo Finance, you'll see, for one thing, Yahoo Finance lists this company as being 135% undervalued. That in itself is shocking, but then if we look over here at the dividend yield listed on Yahoo Finance, it lists a dividend yield of 9.26%, which is drastically higher than the 2.7% listed under E-Trade. And then if we switch back over to Schwab, here you'll find Schwab even has a dividend rate higher than Yahoo Finance at 10.66%. Now here lists their regular dividend at only 50 cents per share per quarter, which would definitely not get a 10.66% yield. In fact, that would put it right about the 2.76% that E-Trade listed. Now, if you look at the bars here, what you'll see is CIVI pays significant extra dividends every year. So if we look back under 2023 and 2022, you'll see it paid a regular dividend, then it paid an extra dividend, which is an additional $1.24 on top of the 50 cents per share. That is a drastic increase in their dividend. And it did this every single dividend payment for the last couple of years. And that's why we end up with a, we'll say 9+% dividend yield. Even though what they're promising is 50 cents a share, and that works out to the 2.7 or so percent yield. What they actually do is pay all their extra money out in dividends. And it brings up a significantly higher dividend yield than you might expect. So given the fact that the company's dividend yield is actually, I would call it astronomically high, and the fact that we have a budding war in the Middle East, which we don't know whether or not it's going to spill over into other countries and disrupt the oil trade at the moment, but that is certainly possible. And I've heard some chatter on the news about that sort of thing, but that could happen. And if so, then sources of fuel within the United States would become more valuable to those of us who live here. So that could drive the share price of this company up. And even if it didn't, well, then you're still getting a very high dividend paying company. But please let me know what you think of this company in the comments below. And remember, I'm not offering financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are for discussion and education only. If you'd like to see a specific company analyzed using these metrics, let me know in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I can. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and good luck with all your investments.